Hello and welcome to Songs for the Struggling Artist, the blogcast. This is episode 313. My name is Emily Rainbow Davis. Thank you for listening. Today's blog is, I believe, the first in a series of many inspired by my experience of jury duty a few weeks ago. A month ago now. Yeah, so... this one was the one I think I could write before I could tell anything about the actual trial. It was about sort of jury selection, which I was allowed to talk about. The trial I could not talk about until it was over, and it is over, thank goodness. So if you're a reader of the blog, you've already encountered at least one of those, I think two. And there are more. Whee! But this is the first one I think that's making its way onto the podcast. So why don't I read it to you? It is called, Do I Make Media? For jury duty, we had to fill out information about ourselves that the lawyers then used as conversation points during jury selection. The first lawyer looked at my occupation, writer, podcaster, theater maker, performer, Feldenkrais practitioner, and said something that I couldn't understand at first. He said, as a statement, not a question, "You work in..." As I tried to work out what he'd said, he then asked, "You're a podcaster?" This I knew what to do with. Yes, I am a podcaster, and... in the meantime, my brain had managed to process the word he'd said earlier, which was media. I have never in my life thought of myself as working in media, which explains why it threw me for a loop. I suppose it might technically be true in that media is kind of a broad category, but conceptually, it is so far from how I think of my work that he might as well have asked me if I work on planet Earth. I mean, I do. But that's not how I usually think about it. I was struck by the discrepancy of the confidence he had in proclaiming that I work in media, and my own complete bafflement by the category. And I mean, sure, he's a lawyer who works on civil cases, so maybe overconfidence in categories is an occupational habit, but I am genuinely confused by this categorization. I suppose, to his mind, people only work in large categories. He works in law. He's pursuing a malpractice suit, so he's watching out for people who work in the medical field. He sees writer. He doesn't think art. He thinks media. And I guess media was an approved category for him because I got selected for jury service. More on this in future posts. But while I make things that I suppose might be called media, and that I make things in one medium or another that might make their way to the public, when people rail against the media, I don't even feel slightly implicated. I suppose because I am entirely independent and generally just make things because I feel like it, not because anyone told me to. But what this experience has made me realize is how foreign my self-identifiers are to the bulk of average Americans. This lawyer would never look at my list of occupations and think, artist. For him, I would guess, the only artists he thinks of as artists are the ones with paintbrushes and berets. And I think there are certainly more of him than me. I live in a kind of artist bubble where I hang out with other artists, where I talk with people who actually understand artists, even if they're not artists themselves, so I can sometimes forget how the rest of the world tends to operate. Artist isn't an occupation for them. The expectation is that you have an employer and you do labor for them. The other juror form we filled out for this situation offered no category for freelancer on its list of types of jobs. It was full-time, part-time, per diem/commission, or unemployed. This is a whole system that every citizen is likely to make some contact with that misses out a giant and growing category of the workforce. It's not just artists who freelance, of course, but it's an equally baffling category for a form within such a big system. You start to see how systems are built and how easy it is to exclude people with categories, or to include them in categories with which they not only don't identify, but that don't even make sense to them. I can see how this lawyer landed on media. Probably the only podcasts he's listened to are Serial and The Daily. Maybe the Joe Rogan Experience, Lord help us. To his mind, and a lot of people's, podcasts are just another channel from major news outlets. They're not something a person might make with a mic and a laptop while sitting under a bed. It's a loft, but still. The picture this guy has for what I do is very different than the reality. He thinks I make media. I think I make art and work about art, which, yeah, okay, I guess is technically media, but I sure don't think of it that way. I was just having flashbacks to sitting in that jury selection room. It was really a courtroom, and they sat everybody in the, what are they called? Pews? They're like wooden benches, court benches, the audience. I don't know what they're called in a court. And then the lawyers were like on stage behind the like doors that lead into the like, I don't know. It was an odd courtroom. It's not where we had the actual trial, but it is where we did the jury deliberations, which was very odd. Anyway, I felt so lucky to be in the first group to get released early, but then I was selected. Listen, I'm going to say a lot of things about this whole jury process, and most of them are not positive, but I do want to just go on the record and say it is important that even though it sucks, we do jury service. Like, if we want trials to go in reasonable directions, we do actually have to do it. Like, yeah. I have heard enough horrifying verdicts to just be like, right, no, even though it sucks, you do have to, yeah, if you want intelligent verdicts, you have to, like, participate. Anyway, just on record, it is important. Yes, everybody do it, and also it blows. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, oof. So, what song is going to happen here is I Googled, like, what are songs about media? Like, I couldn't think of any offhand, so I had to Google. And I Googled, and this Lily Allen song came up that I didn't know before. And it's not really about media. There is a line that, according to various, like, what is this song about references, is in fact a reference to two newspapers. She mentions The Sun and The Mirror. You could read those things as the literal sun and a literal mirror, but I think she may in fact be referencing newspapers. Not clear. But that's the fun of a song, right? The ambiguity? I don't know. Anyway, having been introduced to the song in my search for songs about media, I thought, oh yeah, it's fun. It's a fun one. Not really on topic, but I don't think there really is anything on topic. If you know of a song that would have been on topic for this post, please let me know. But I could not come up with one. So I just went with this one because it's kind of fun. And it is about perhaps a media landscape. I'll give it that as a, being on theme a bit. So that's coming up in just a moment. Meanwhile, thank you so much for listening. If you like the blogcast, please tell someone about it. Like, review, subscribe, all the things. Write a review. If you'd like to support the blogcast, please join me on Patreon, patreon.com/Emily R. Davis. There's also Ko-fi and PayPal. All those links are in the show notes. I just got a sweet little donation for a subsequent jury post from someone. So that's nice. It's always so nice. Yeah. So again, thank you for listening. And I'm going to give you now on ukulele, little Lily Allen. What's it called? The Fear. Not sure why it's called The Fear. I'm still working that out. But enjoy. And I think that's just... Oh, there's some swears. So there haven't been swears in the blog, but there are swears in the song. So just, if that bothers you, go ahead and stop right now. Here is The Fear. I want to be rich and I want lots of money. I don't care about clever, I don't care about funny. I want loads of clothes and fuck loads of diamonds. I heard people die when they're trying to find them. I'll take my clothes off and it'll be shameless, 'cause everyone knows that's how you get famous. I'll look at the sun and I'll look in the mirror. I'm on the right track, yeah, I'm on to a winner. I don't know what's right and what's real anymore. I don't know how I'm meant to feel anymore. When do you think it will all become clear? 'Cause I'm being taken over by the fear. Life's about film stars and less about mothers. It's all about fast cars and cussing each other. But it doesn't matter, 'cause I'm packing plastic, and that's what makes my life so fucking fantastic. And I am a weapon of massive consumption, and it's not my fault, it's how I'm programmed to function. I'll look at the sun and I'll look in the mirror. I'm on the right track, yeah, we're on to a winner. I don't know what's right and what's real anymore. I don't know how I'm meant to feel anymore. When do you think it will all become clear? 'Cause I'm being taken over by the fear. Forget about guns and forget ammunition, 'cause I'm killing them all on my own little mission. Now I'm not a saint and I'm not a sinner. Now everything's cool as long as I'm getting thinner. I don't know what's right and what's real anymore. I don't know how I'm meant to feel anymore. When do you think it will all become clear? 'Cause I'm being